Hello, Vlogalogue. How are you guys doing? Happy American 4th of July to those of you who live in America or happen to celebrate the 4th of July. Maybe everyone here except for Niall. Sorry, Niall. You're not an American, although I don't know. I don't know if that's a sorry thing. Anyway, so I am apologizing for making this video a day late. Although you may not be able to tell it, I am back in the United States of America, specifically at my parents' house. Not the house. The house is back that way somewhere. I'm in the woods near the house because, why not? Because I miss the woods. I spent like 2 months in a city and there were hardly any trees. And so I decided to come enjoy the trees. We spent the last week talking about teamwork, and sort of Kevin and Jocelyn talked a lot about the archetypes, especially in consider it to like school. So, you know, you're the person who does all the work and the person who doesn't do any work, and how those archetypes carry over from the school world into the real world, because like schoolwork, for all intents and purposes, especially in the later years, like college and stuff, is a really good approximation, or is actually just the same as real world work. It's just, you don't get paid for it, you get paid in academic credits. I mean, I can't speak from personal experience, but I think a lot of it is the same. At least I'm hoping a lot of it is the same. And from what I've heard from people and talking to people who actually go out and do real world work, it's kind of the truth. And then of course Niall was like, yeah, it doesn't really matter what you care. You're gonna be stuck doing teamwork in everything because everything is a big collaborative project. To which I say, you could move to Antarctica and build a little shack there, or out in the tundra, or out in the desert, depending on what your preference for climate was, and not have to worry about other people. There is, you know, sort of the ability to not work together in a team and just totally isolate yourself from society. Like, I could build a little house right here. I mean, there's a house there, and a house there, and a house there, but you can't see them, so it's like they're not there. Anyway, I think I'll sit down on this rock and we can talk about something else. Specifically, where do you guys go when you need to unwind? Because life is very busy, it's complicated, and it's got all sorts of moving parts, and we're running at 110 miles per hour, and sometimes we just need to sit down and say, okay, time to not do all that. And I don't mean disconnect from the internet, because like that doesn't help me. I mean, maybe it helps some of you, but I find moving to a different place entirely super helpful for that type of thing. And I found now that I live away from my parents, now that I have my own apartment, and stuff, that when I come home, it's just a completely different environment. There's no work like associated with it besides maybe a couple menial, like, can you fix the router? Can you fix my computer? Yeah, sure, that's fine. It's a completely different change of pace, right? And it's a different part of the mind that gets worked, and it's a different environment. Like, oh, you can't do it right now? Whatever, you'll get to it later. Like, and it's super useful. And then of course there's like this forest that I live in, which is kind of just nice to not have anything around. I don't know, it's nice. So I'm curious where you guys go. If you go anywhere, maybe it's just a special chair that you clean off every so once in a while, or maybe it's your parents' house, or maybe it's the south shore of a country, or maybe it's just the Cape of Massachusetts, or wherever it may be. Like, where do you go, and why do you enjoy it? I think different people unwind in different ways. I know people who unwind by going to like the shooting range for a day and just shoot 1,000,000 bullets and get all their anger and frustration with reality out of them. When I was younger, I used to really enjoy just doing nothing on a cruise ship. We'd go to like a foreign country on a cruise, and I would barely leave the cabin because I was just like, no, I'm unwinding. I don't care about going to see these ancient ruins. I'd like to just sit and play my Game Boy on the bed, because, you know, the other 51 weeks of the year I'm running around doing nothing, well, doing everything with school. Why would I want to do that now? And of course now I look at travel a little bit differently now that I'm older, and like, I may never come back here. I might as well do it right. So like vacations are no longer sort of a place to go and relax and unwind. unless you specifically go on a vacation specifically to do that, and you might as well just stay home kind of at that point. Unless you can't do that at home, in which case you might as well just go to like a lake nearby or something. In my opinion, that vacations don't equal unwinding. Like, I went on vacations, mini vacations, when I was in Europe, and I would drive, or didn't drive, I would take a train for a couple hours and go to a place like Scotland, and I would look around, I would try to see everything I possibly could, and then I'd jump back on a train and I'd come back, and then I would be super busy all the time. That's why I didn't make very many YouTube videos. That'll change. I promise that'll change, coming up very, very soon. But that's neither here nor there. So I don't know, what do you guys need to relax and just escape from it all? Do you need to literally come out into the middle of nowhere like I kind of need to do? Or is just like the park bench down the road enough for you? I don't know. Let me know. I'm interested to hear your ways of sort of relaxing from the universe. And I'll see you all next week. On time, I promise, because I'll be back in the routine of things, which is gonna be a little bit lovely in its own way. Until then, have a wonderful week. Bye.